Theodosius was the eldest son of Byzantine Emperor Maurice, and was co-emperor from 590 until his deposition and execution during a military revolt in November 602. Along with his father-in-law Germanus, he was briefly proposed as successor to Maurice by the troops, but the army eventually favored Phocas instead, sent in an abortive mission to secure aid from Sassanid Persia by his father. Theodosius was captured and executed by Phocas's supporters a few days after Maurice. Nevertheless, rumors spread that he had survived the execution, and became popular to the extent that a man who purported to be Theodosius was entertained by the Persians as a pretext for launching a war against Byzantium. Biography. Theodosius was the first child of Maurice and his wife, the Augusta Constantina. He was born on August 4, 583 or 585. He was the first son to be born to a reigning emperor since Theodosius II in 401, and was accordingly named after the previous ruler. The papal envoy, or Apocrisiarius, to Constantinople, the future Pope Gregory the Great, acted as his godfather. The scholar Evagrius Scholasticus composed a work celebrating Theodosius' birth, for which he was rewarded by Maurice with the rank of consul. A few years after his birth, possibly in 587, Theodosius was raised to the rank of Caesar and thus became his father's heir apparent. While on March 26, 590, he was publicly proclaimed as co-emperor. In November 601 or early February 602, Maurice married Theodosius to a daughter of the patrician Germanus, a leading member of the Byzantine Senate. The historian Theophylact Cimacata, the major chronicler of Maurice's reign, also records that on February 2, 602, Germanus saved Theodosius from harm during food riots in Constantinople. Later in the same year, during the revolt of the Danubian armies in autumn, Theodosius and his father-in-law were hunting in the outskirts of Constantinople. There they received a letter from the mutinous troops, in which they demanded Maurice's resignation, a redress of their grievances, and offered the crown to either of the two. They presented the letter to Maurice, who rejected the army's demands. The emperor, however, began suspecting Germanus of playing a part in the revolt. Theodosius promptly informed his father-in-law of this and advised him to hide, and on the 21st of November Germanus fled first to a local church and then to the Hagia Sophia, seeking sanctuary from the Byzantine emperor's emissaries. On the very next day, however, Maurice and his family and closest associates fled the capital before the advancing rebel army under Phocas, and crossed over to Chalcedon. From there, Theodosius was dispatched along with the Praetorian prefect Constantine Lades to seek the aid of Khosrau II, the ruler of Sassanid Persia. Maurice, however, soon recalled him, and on his return Theodosius fell into the hands of Phocas' men and was executed at Chalcedon. His father and younger brothers had been executed a few days earlier on November 27. Rumors of survival ensued of Theodosius. Subsequently, rumors emerged of Theodosius's survival and spread far and wide. It was alleged that his father-in-law Germanus had bribed his executioner, a leading Phocas supporter named Alexander, to spare his life. In this story, Theodosius then fled, eventually reaching Lazica, where he died. Theophylact Cimacata reports that he thoroughly investigated these rumors and found him false. However, the general Narses, who rose against Phocas in Mesopotamia, exploited these rumors. He produced a false Theodosius, and claimed to be fighting in his name. The impostor was then presented to Khosrau II by Narses. The Persian ruler in turn used him as a pretext for his own invasion of Byzantium, claiming that it was done in order to avenge the murder of Maurice and his family and place the rightful heir Theodosius on the throne. Coinage. Theodosius does not appear on most of the regular coinage of Maurice's reign, with two exceptions. the copper nummi of the Cherson Mint, which show him along with his father and mother, and a special silver siliqua issue from the Carthage Mint.